So a quick life update. Well, I'm kind of done with social media for most of it. I guess YouTube is social media, but I'm off of Tumblr. I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Instagram. I don't have Snapchat, which is really good for my apparent social anxiety, which supposedly I now have, which kind of makes sense. And also apparently now I also have a fear of, people staring at me, like pictures of people that look like they're looking at me. Like that's always giving me anxiety, which I never really knew what that was until I looked online and, oh, this is what this is. And on top of that, I guess there's another symptom of anxiety or panic attacks, which is depersonalization. Like, oh, I have that too, or I go through that too. So, I mean, that's kind of nice that I know I'm starting to figure out, like, some of the feelings that I've experienced in my life. Like, now I have a name for it, which is yay. But at the second time, at the same point, I'm worried about, medicalizing myself, like, defining myself by the things that go on with me. I don't want to say things that are wrong with me, because I don't like that whole connotation. But, right now, I'm kind of in like a limbo in my life, so to speak. I guess in terms of my social anxiety, I don't really do much to combat it. Well, actually I do. I do journal now. And I also talk about how I feel, like I self-talk. So like I can hear how I'm feeling, or I can hear myself talk about my worries. I can get them out of my head because I'm so in my head. And I also feel like for a while that I also had OCD to a point. But most of my compulsions are mental. So that's also been helping me just to self-talk and also to journal what's going on in my head, journal my worries, journal my compulsions, journal my, whatever obsessive thoughts come into my head. That's really helped, and I started to see a therapist, but she hasn't texted me back in a couple of days when I asked her to reschedule, and I feel like that's the theme of my life. Nobody gets back to me. Friends, family, therapist apparently. So, I don't know what that is. I mean, I know she's busy, but if you're busy, just say, hey, I'll get back to you in a little bit. There's a lot going on. That's all I ask from people, is to tell me if you're backed up, just let me know, and I'll chill out and wait. But I don't know, people don't seem to know how to give me that courtesy. So, I talked to my therapist, and she was like, do you want to be in a relationship? And I said, yeah. I don't want to be a lonely lesbian anymore. She's like, well, you have to get out and meet people. And to me, it's like, well, I try that, and that's the problem. That's the problem here. I don't know if it's different in a blue state, but this is a very, very red state. Dating here is difficult if you are not into the drug, club, partying, or church scene, all of which really upset my anxiety. And I say that not as someone who's never been private. I mean, as experience, I've done all of those things. I've been to clubs, bars, meet people at church. I've done all of that, and it's all a disaster. And I even had blind dates before. Friends have set me up with other lesbians to meet, and that was a disaster too. No, not because of my anxiety, but because she showed up high. So, lesbian dating here, when you're not in all that stuff, is very difficult. Online dating gets even worse because, particularly if you're like a radical lesbian, like you don't subscribe to the popular gender and sex politics of people my age, that makes it even harder. I was part of the radical lesbian community on Tumblr, and that was a fucking nightmare too, because there was just a lot of anger and a lot of just a lot of anger, and I didn't feel that was misdirected, or sometimes I felt like it was purposely directed at each other. And that made me uncomfortable. And I really tried to I've always tried to fit in. I guess that's my problem is to just be yourself, and I try to be myself as much as I can. I can't really be anybody else. And I just realized like I don't really feel like I don't really feel like I belong anywhere. Like I had a hard time fitting in with the Black Power community. They left I was too much of a dyke, get too much of a female there. Tried to fit in with the dyke community, too much of a nigger there. And just too weird for that. And then I guess in the radical feminist community, I don't even know. I don't even know what the problem is there. Like, I'm kind of by myself. And I know for somebody with social anxiety, that's not good. But in the experiences that I've had online as well as offline in terms of like organizing and just even meeting people and establishing friendships and connections, they've all turned sour. And some of it was my fault, I guess. Yeah, I will put something on myself. But I also feel like we're going through a really serious epidemic of miscommunication between people, especially particularly people my age and younger. We really just don't know how to communicate with each other. We don't know how to maintain. I feel like we know how to create connection with each other, but we don't know how to maintain that connection. We don't know how to get through highs and lows and still have relationships with each other. And for me, that's really difficult because, I do want to grow further. I do want to get married someday. I do want to have a small, intimate circle of friends that I can call my sisters. I don't really feel like I have that. I have friends that I can come to, but I don't feel. I just feel like I don't have that experience. And that's really hard for me to deal with. Especially being young, Black, and like lesbian, it really sucks when you don't have that sort of circle of friends. Right now I'm just kind of like in limbo, trying to figure out where to go from here. What I can do to, stay afloat mentally and emotionally. I do want a relationship, and like, this is really, well, it's not really embarrassing, but like, I still have feelings for someone that, that I dated when I was like 18. Like, she was the one that made me realize I was a fucking lesbian, and like, we know talking, we've been on and off for years, and I recently had to just like stop it because what we wanted were just two different things, and so I had to like say, okay, no, I don't know, like, we had to let it go. And that's been really hard to deal with, because she really is a great person, and she really is an amazing person. And I just feel like with the current climate of things in terms of like how we relate to each other, how we form community, how we maintain community, or a failure to do so as lesbians, especially like young lesbians, I feel like I might be alone for a long fucking time. Like, I feel like that was probably the last shot at love I'll have for a long time. I know I won't be forever. I won't be lonely forever. I know, but right now it just feels that way. And so presently, because I want to learn how to be mindful and be in the present, presently this is how I feel. I know I won't feel this way forever, but presently that's how I feel. So I just wanted to give a little life update, and I'm going to try to be more proactive in maintaining my emotional and mental health by continuing to journal, continuing to self-talk, and find therapists. And I don't ever want to be on medication. That's just a personal thing for me. I don't want to ever be on medication again. But I do eventually, I just want to keep the momentum going. So that's just a little update. I will not be talking about like trans stuff, and I don't like that. The part of my life is just over. It's done. I dealt with it. It happened. It's done. So if you're still watching and you're still subscribed, woohoo, great. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good week. Bye, ladies.